We're excited to have Lori here. She is the operations leader of the TTE, the Technology Trust Ethics team at Deloitte, where she's focused on advancing ethical and trustworthy technology. Prior to her role in the TTE, Lori led the Deloitte AI Institute for Government, amplifying Deloitte's messaging in the market and connecting across the government AI ecosystem. What she's gonna focus on, or she's focused on recently and today, is the potential for fair machine-human collaboration. So I am excited to hear what Lori has to say, and please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Nathan. Good afternoon. It is a privilege to be speaking at Seattle University today. Growing up in Philly, my parents sought out Jesuit education at every point to raise my brother and I. And for my MBA, I chose Georgetown University, another outstanding Jesuit institution. I am glad to be here to talk about the essentials of humans and machines collaborating on this important topic of workforce preparation, given the growing prevalence of artificial intelligence. But before I get started, just in curiosity as you think through your head, do you track AI and concerned you cannot keep up with the developments? I'll say for me, I certainly feel that way. It feels like a full-time job keeping up with everything. Every day there's something new. Do you find yourself concerned about the impact of AI on the workforce, and that includes workers and employees? Same thing, buzz every day in your email feed, your news feed. And do you believe humans and machines can collaborate fairly? I do. I think there's hope. And hopefully by the end of the day, you will have more confidence in the concept that humans and machines can collaborate fairly. To get started, let's look at AI. First, the definition of AI, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. I felt that I needed to go old school on this. The definition is the ability of a digital computer or a computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. While that definition makes sense, what does it mean in practicality? Well, for one, AI already exists and is commonplace in society today. For instance, when you call your bank, or you find yourself having to call your cable provider to ask why your internet is not working again, or you call your airline in regards to a booking, and you hear a voice-assistant message asking you to share the reason why you're calling, and they can help direct your call. And if you're anything like me, you might find yourself saying, representative, representative, representative. Feels like 5 times is the magic number till you get a human representative. Or when you talk to your friend about something and you're in the car, and all of a sudden the next time you look at your phone, you see ads for the thing you were just talking about. Or maybe even news prompts for the thing you were just talking about. Sort of creepy. And lastly, maybe you've seen the ad for the Charles Barkley commercial on TV right now. It has Charles Barkley of today sitting next to a younger Charles Barkley. Have you seen it? Well, that younger Charles Barkley, he's AI generated. And when I first saw the video, I was like, Charles Barkley has a son that looks just like him? But my husband told me later he read an article talking about the younger Charles Barkley, and he said that the younger Charles Barkley was AI generated. Let's take a look at that commercial real quick.
When you're betting on your favorite players, it helps to think like your favorite player. Looking good, young Chuck.
You too, old Chuck. Getting better with age. like a creamy Dutch Gouda.
And same-game parlays on FanDuel are the best way to bet on your favorite players.
Hey, how many championships I'm gonna win? Wait, don't tell me. I wanna be surprised.
You're gonna be surprised.
New customers bet 5 and get 150 in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA.
I was super surprised to find out that was AI. At first I was like, God, they look identical. Well, AI exists, and it's already in parts of our everyday life. And as AI continues to develop, we will see AI appear in other parts of our lives. And now that we've looked at a few examples that are familiar, let's talk about the concerns of AI on the workforce. A recent Wall Street Journal article referenced a Marist College survey saying 55% of Americans believe companies will use AI to replace them in their jobs. That statistic feels so daunting. But in reality, I don't think it will play out that way. While the statistic brings home the concern of the role AI will play in the workforce to include workers and employers, there are several factors that need to be considered before AI becomes the main workplace employee. And I'll say these feelings of being replaced are not new. Humans have been here before. Our parents have been here before. Our grandparents have been here before, and they have felt the same way. From the Pony Express to the telegraph, to the telephone, cell phones, and across industrial revolutions, humankind has felt this way. In the course of history, there has always been this feeling when the next big evolution occurs, humans will be replaced. Or one industry will consume another and put an entire industry out of business. In reality, more jobs are created than lost as a result of an evolution. Let's take a look at an example. An example of this is the introduction of ATMs in the 1980s. ATMs, when they were introduced, performed tasks previously handled by human tellers. And by the 80s, ATMs became widely popular. And I remember hearing my parents and my grandparents, they were very upset about the transition of bank tellers to ATMs. And my grandfather would say, this is not a good thing. This right here, downfall of society and workers for sure. And what has this world come to? In fact, a New York Times article in 1973 says up to 75% of bank tellers would be replaced by ATMs. Fast forward, society still has ATMs, we still have bank tellers, and now we have mobile banking. Let's look at some numbers. In 1985, the US had 60,000 ATMs and 485,000 bank tellers. By 2022, the number of ATMs had increased to 470,000, and the number of bank tellers, 352,000. Bank tellers haven't been wiped out. Bank tellers haven't been removed from their job, and yet they now do more intensive, higher order work. As for AI, I think it's going to position humans to focus on complex tasks, work involving complex problem solving. As we think about AI and how it will elevate the work humans do, I will spend some time today talking through the 5 essentials for humans and machines to collaborate fairly. These 5 essentials include education, employers, employees, human in the loop, and trustworthy AI. Let's go to number 1. The first essential between human and machine collaborating fairly is education, which consists of developing a long-term pipeline and the next generation workforce. To begin, educators, government, and private industry all have an essential role to play to shape and invest in the next generation. Educators should rethink education. They should recast education as a lifelong process, and I think many institutions are thinking about that. They should de-emphasize memorization, which I have to tell you, I really love memorization. And they should de-emphasize routine in favor of curiosity and project-based learning. Educators should teach students to be comfortable with change, be adaptable, and encourage problem solving. Educators should provide students access to classes and clubs where both boys, girls, underserved, underrepresented can learn robotics and computer science, whether it's in class curriculum or after-school programs. And if educators need approvals and process to get those classes weaved into the curriculum, they should immediately start offering them as after-school programs. And ultimately, coursework inclusive of robotics and computer science serves as an introduction to coding and mechanics in an interesting and fun way. And it positions students to be able to write code, which maybe at this point in society is the only universal language. And a curriculum designed with AI and robotics and comp sci built in will enable the students to be able to be shaped and informed by the education those classes provide. Students with education on those core classes will be prepared for future jobs in a workforce that leverages and embraces AI. Additionally, digital literacy is fundamental for future generations to be able to search, fill out online forms, to be able to do school and work online. And let's look at an example. First, a statistic though. Just 6% of high school students in the US take computer science classes. When I read that, I was like, oh, not good. And the numbers are lower in elementary and middle schools. But in Long Island, at a certain school district, computer science is everywhere. At the elementary level, pre-kindergartens are practicing beginning coding skills with these little bumblebee robots. And at the middle school, students are demonstrating their coding project and leveraging design thinking, and they're able to access fabrication labs in the school. And in high school, the district requires all 9th graders to take AP computer science principles classes. I feel like these are the students that we need to model and sponsor. These are the students that are going to get ahead, and we need to do more. The second essential between human and machine collaborating fairly is employers. The ability to develop a short-term pipeline and reskill and upskill the current workforce. The first thing employers need to do is invest in upskilling and reskilling their people. Employers cannot sit back and assume the government or some other organization will do it for them or pay for it. It is an every company issue, and I encourage employees to learn about it now. Employers should also do more to encourage and reinforce to employees that they will invest in reskilling them. If not, employers could start observing more quiet quitting. If employers want to keep their staff, they need to talk about AI. They need to convey to employees the company's plan to leverage AI is to find a way to make the employee's job easier, to replace repetitive tasks, and not the employee. They need to say things like, our intention is to find ways to incorporate AI to enable our workers to work smarter and not harder. Additionally, employers need to make lifelong learning resources available for employees to enhance skill development and dedicate a percentage of their annual revenue to reskilling staff. A great example of a company investing in their people is Intuit. You know, the TurboTax QuickBooks company that we used from. Intuit has invested in reskilling and moving talent over the course of their existence, from digital checkbooks to helping people pay their bills to the tax and accounting platform that it is today. Intuit has evolved as the technology and the market evolves. Now the real goal for the next tax company is AI. And to make that a reality, reskilling workers is key. Intuit's approach to reskilling their employees includes introductory programming, introductory technology courses, lunch and learn sessions, and in-person technology boot camps. The third essential between human and machines collaborating fairly is employees, which is the current workforce working alongside AI and recognizing AI can help them take on mundane and repetitive work. For employees who work with AI today or in the future will realize the value AI can bring to their jobs. AI will make repetitive tasks easier by automating those tedious tasks that you have to do every day that require little or no creativity. AI will allow employees to focus on higher order work, increase productivity, and be more impactful. AI will also allow a worker to focus on roles that require creative solutioning and complex problem solving. AI in the workforce will also augment workers or compensate for vacancies and talents, for instance, nurses. It was projected by the end of 2022, the projected deficit of nurses would be more than 1 million nurses. And while some of that was surely related to COVID, there has been a nurse shortage for years. And robots, they can assist nurses by making deliveries and performing other non-clinical tasks. AI will allow nurses and other clinical staff to spend time more focused on what they do best, caring for patients. In Cedars-Sinai Hospital in California, they are already starting to solve this problem. Cedars-Sinai is leveraging robots to solve this exact situation. The hospital is using robots to augment the traditional workforce with robots. These cobots, as they call them, are used in a variety of ways, from delivering supplies, medicine, picking up gifts from the gift shop that the patient orders. I've never done that, but this is an incredible example of the use of AI robots and AI complementing the human workforce, removing repetitive tasks, allowing the human workforce to focus on the problem-solving part of the job. Let's take a look at Moxie, the robotic nurse at Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
Please remove object in path of vehicle.
That video leaves me inspired that AI and robots can be there, work alongside us, and help take off some of the load that are the repetitive tasks that exist in a job. The fourth essential between human and machine collaborating fairly is human in the loops. I cannot say how important this is. Basically, it's the need for employees to interact, train, and supervise the AI or machines that work in parallel to them and not replace them. Human in the loop of AI is critical to the success of it. From autonomous vehicles getting smarter the more they learn, the more they observe human drivers, to smart devices getting smarter when they hear voice commands. And while we still need to educate and expose students and workers to STEM, coding, and robotics, there will be jobs that require skills gained by studying the humanities and the arts. In an AI-powered world, the human touch will be needed more than ever. As the workforce evolves and AI becomes more common, the human role will become equally important. Let's look at several new jobs that are being created because of the increased use of AI, and note many of them require zero coding skills. Let's talk through some examples. The first role we will look at is a conversational designer. In a world of chatbots, which we sort of see at every site when we go on them, companies now hire writers, comedians, and designers to bring chatbots to life. Chatbots are an important branding tool for companies. And as you can imagine, branding might not always be a strength of the developers or the machine learning engineers that build the chatbot infrastructure. Chatbot designers create the personality of a chatbot. They write the scripts with personality and map out the paths the user can take to get to their final goal. Conversational designer jobs are vacant at Chase Bank, Google, Associated Press, and Wells Fargo. The second role is an AI ethicist. The job of an AI ethicist is to make sure the systems are ethically, politically, and socially compliant. This allows the machines to operate in an unbiased manner. Otherwise, companies may suffer severe consequences, including lawsuits and reputational damage. AI ethicist roles have jobs posted at Sony, Indeed, Walmart, Mayo Clinic. The last role, AI prompt engineering. It's a job that involves taking advantage of the full potential of AI by effectively communicating with the algorithm and teaching it how to respond and follow specific guidelines. Prompt engineering jobs are at Anthropic, which is an AI safety and research company, LinkHub, Aldrin, and some consulting companies. No push there. And the last and fifth essential between human and machines collaborating fairly is trustworthy AI. Trustworthy AI is the foundation of success in society and foundation of AI success in society and the workforce. I spend quite a bit of time on trustworthy AI, and I get it. There are numerous ways to think about trustworthy AI, and it has various different names. The US government has the AI Bill of Rights to protect people. Deloitte has the Trustworthy AI Framework. Regardless of the framework, they focus on similar principles. Today, of course, I'm going to talk about Deloitte. Deloitte's framework is 6 parts and helps organizations think through ways in which they can diagnose and diagnose the ethical health of AI while abiding by relevant policies and regulations. The 6 parts of the framework are: AI systems should be robust and reliable, producing consistent outputs. Consumer privacy should be respected and protected when used with AI. AI systems should be safe, protected from risk, and cyber attacks. Policies should be in place to determine who is responsible and accountable for the outputs of the AI system. Aspects of an AI system should be transparent, both internally and externally, to understand the decisions the AI system makes. And finally, AI should be fair, impartial, with minimized bias. And all of this needs to be governed by laws and regulations. An example from history about how I think about trustworthy AI is the automobile. The car was a great invention. It offered efficiencies from the beginning. Families were able to travel to places faster, and it was safer than a horse. From the onset of the car becoming mainstream, it included safety features such as windshields, wiper blades, and over time, cars introduced additional safety features to include seat belts, airbags, anti-lock brakes, to name a few. And just like cars, AI must be treated the same. AI must have safety features built into it from the onset to be a success, and through safety features, AI can build the confidence of users. And as AI becomes commonplace, I can imagine more safety features will be built into the AI systems. To that end, maybe there's a similar entity to Consumer Union or Consumer Reports, the nonprofit entity that has helped us evaluate everything from cars to vacuums to home health safety equipment for safety and effectiveness across decades. What if a Consumer Reports for AI existed? It could provide reviews of systems and determine the safety features and guardrails the AI systems need to implement. In closing, to reiterate, the 5 essentials of human and machine collaborating fairly are education, employers, employees, humans in the loop, and trustworthy AI. Educators, employers, employees, and society should recognize AI is not a passing fad, and they need to take AI seriously because it is happening. Through the stories of history, we have learned innovation leads to disruption, which leads to change. This is not new. This path has been charted for hundreds of years. This is the cycle our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and those before have gone through. Right now, AI is the disruptor. And like the printing press and the steam engines and telephones, AI eventually will be the status quo until another technology comes along and brings innovation and disruption. In terms of answering the question, will machines train the next generation workforce? I think AI can help train the next generation of workers, so long as humans are in the loop and play an active role in training and managing the machines. As for AI, there's plenty to be worked on, plenty to be figured out. But we as humans are capable of such great things. And this new realm of human and machines, it will not hold us back. I am optimistic this will work, and I hope you will be too. And I hope the areas I covered will hopefully give you increased confidence. It will happen. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.